All right. I'm here with my good old buddy. Not old in the sense of physical, but it's been 30 years maybe,
Yeah,
or no,
since
more.
yeah, exactly. 30 plus years since we left college.
Yeah. So we were muscleheads in college and really keeping in shape. And the whole point of this conversation and hooking up with Kevin, people like Kevin, is Kevin Jackson, by the way, is to show you guys that maybe are at a point in life now that you want to get in shape, you just don't know how to do it. You put all your focus and energy into your career, your family, and that was your focus. You didn't think you could do the physical part, and it's really declined on you. You want to gain back that 10 or 15 years. And I want to show you that we've been able to do it. You can do it too. So I want inspiration and hope. So Kevin, you now live in Jacksonville via
Via
New York.
New York.
Yeah. All right. So give me, we were just touched on it briefly before we got on this, is how do you do this, man? How do you do it with being a career guy and married and you have a child and growing up, and how do you balance all that and just go into what's the mindset? Maybe let's start with that. What drives you to do this?
Yeah, I picked up this crazy sport of bodybuilding back when we were in college. I always played sports, whether it was soccer or rugby, and really, got into, weightlifting and bodybuilding. I competed a few times after, obviously after college, and I just, continued to, want to stay in shape. I've always been very disciplined. I'm disciplined in my professional life, in my personal life. I like to have a set schedule. So, the one thing I've told everybody that make up those excuses, I don't know. Everybody can find an hour and 15 minutes every day. If you can't, then something's clearly wrong. So again, with my job, I travel, but I can always allocate and figure out an hour and 15 minutes a day, whether it's in the morning or at night. Um, I, I will always fit it in. If I don't, it just makes me feel different. So it's something that's been a part of my life for 30 plus years, and I just couldn't imagine not doing it. It's becoming more and more difficult as I get older with injuries and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a part of my daily routine.
Yeah, I've been there. So it's like I tell people, it's like brushing your teeth. You get up in the morning, you don't dare leave without brushing your teeth. Also, it's like going to work every day. If you don't show up for work, you don't get paid. And it's like this: if you don't take care of your body, you're not going to reap the benefit, the reward. You're going to pay the price.
Yep.
So I didn't mention our ages. I think I did, or maybe I didn't. Kevin's 54. I'm 56. I myself have never been on any medications. Kevin, I'm assuming you probably haven't either, as far as the regular high blood pressure, cholesterol, shit like that.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
Okay.
Mm.
And I say this often on these interviews that the average 50-year-old is on 3 different medications, and that's considered normal. That's not normal, but that's what we accept it to be. So it's so easy to be off of them. So doing this makes you feel better. Number one, it clears your mind, sets the stage for the day. You're, but what makes you get out of bed and do it and make that time? What are you thinking in your head? If I don't do this, what's the alternative? I mean, what what's your process?
Yeah. I mean, it again, it's become such a fabric of, what I do on it, and whether you call it vain or, I'm just, very, obsessed, for lack of a better word, staying in shape, being physically fit. It helps, as much as, I complain about not being able to, sleep, and I'm tired. Bottom line, that hour and a half a day, really helps my energy level. It's an hour and 15 hour and a half a day that, I can clear my head. It's all I forget about everything else outside of the, gym. So again, it's just a part of my, my routine, whether I'm at home, whether I'm traveling, every day.
Yeah, so no excuse. When you're on the road, there's always a facility somewhere that you can find. And,
Absolutely.
and like you said, 1 hour for the benefits. What are the benefits you get other than obviously looking good?
Yeah, I think, from, you stay, your confidence level, it just, it improves my energy level. It helps me think. It's just,
Clarity.
yep.
Yeah. No, that's all good shit, man. So when you do that, you say you hour a day. Does that include cardio? Does that include weights, both? Or do you
Both.
separate
Yeah.
them?
Yeah. I'm kind of a creature of habit. And I never really used to do a lot of cardio. I used to do like 15 or 20 minutes, on leg day just to kind of loosen up. And, over the past 2 years, I really put a, a heavier focus on it. So, my routine is, 25 minutes of cardio, and then I go into into the weights,
Yeah, so an
and
hour with a combination.
yeah.
I mean, that's nothing. And that's how many days a week you do that?
I mean, I'll do it. There are weeks where I go 7 days. I mean, but there are weeks if I'm traveling and I couldn't get, it just didn't, work, and it ended up being, 5 or 6. But if I had to average it out, it's probably 6 days a week. I pretty much go every day that I can.
Okay. And one thing that Kevin, what he just did not alluded to was an hour may seem like a lot. It really is not. I mean, just think about hour watching TV. You're getting no benefit out of it, or
No
something that
benefit.
you're doing is detrimental to your health. And this is all obviously benefited by keeping your weight down, your cholesterol down, your blood pressure down, your mental clarity, your testosterone level is elevated to some extent. I mean, but you think about people try to put that in perspective. Think how it's almost like how can you not do that with look at us, we're not aging at the same rate that other people are, and those are the kind of things I'm thinking ahead at 60 and 70 and 80, and I plan on looking better at 60 than I do now, and people think I'm full of it, and I said, well, you think I'm full of it, I'm gonna look better at 70. You think I'm full of shit, I'm gonna look better at 80. And I never expected to look like this at 56, and
That's the one question I get when people see me out or in the gym or whatever. Is they ask me. That's the first question. It kind of frustrates me sometimes. I I try to take it as a compliment, but that's the first question they ask me is how old I am. When I tell them, I'm like, and I joke, 50 is the new 40, or 50, or I like to say 50 is the new 35.
No, seriously, you nailed it right there. And it should be, and it can be. And I also want to encourage guys that listen to this that even if you feel like you've aged, you can reverse that process. You're not going to stop it, but man, you can reverse it and slow it down. And a lot of that has to do with nutrition. So tell us a little bit about that. Obviously is a huge part of it. Tell me a little bit about your daily routine with your food and your nutrition.
Yeah, I mean that's people talk, ask me the one question all the time is do you diet, and and I say no. I mean I've been doing this for so long. It's actually it's a lifestyle. I mean I like to I travel a lot. I go out to eat a lot, but restaurants have become so much more accommodating. I could not define my my daily diet routine, but bottom line I'm on a very low carb and very so when we grocery shop we don't you know, we buy a lot of the same, whether it's meat and chicken and fish and egg whites and eggs there's food prep, there's food prep throughout the week. My wife is very health conscious as well. So, we're very, cognizant, about what we eat. And again, we go out and eat probably 2, sometimes 3 times a week. But restaurants have become so much more accommodating in terms of, being able to, eat, extremely healthy and not worry, about, changing or, screwing up your diet.
Now because you're eating what he's describing is eating clean, like the foods he described, clean eating mean it doesn't have a lot of processed carbohydrates or saturated fats.
Correct. Yeah.
Loaded with sodium and those types of things. And I don't mean this to be an educational lecture or anything, but those foods loaded with the typical American diet, sugars and fats and salts, and that they cause inflammation in the body and it causes cellular death. So if you're chronically eating foods that inflame you, that's where you age a lot quicker. And that's a big reason why we don't age at the same rate as our peers do. Now, I'm sure because you're not killing yourself in the gym, you're working smart. Okay. If you do an hour, here's where I see people go wrong too. They think more is better. All right. More is not better. Actually, less is better, doing it effectively. But then if your nutrition complements it. Now, because Kevin's got this together real smart and precise, you can also cheat and get away with it. Do you ever do that? Do you ever go off, have something?
Oh yeah, exactly. Again, I probably, do, obviously for the, the physical appearance, but, I'm very diligent about, obviously my workout routine, my diet, because on the weekends I like to go out and have, a few drinks on Friday night and Saturday. And, we don't necessarily call it a cheat day, but if I'm, eating extremely clean 5 or 6 days a week, going out, and whether it's pizza or sweet, whatever it is, there's no negative effects. What I tell people is, as clean as I like to eat, I don't cheat myself.
That's good, man. Because your body's conditioned, he's kept it up to a level. Once you get to a certain level, you can maintain it, have that, and like you said, it does not affect you. Like your metabolism is just chewing it up. But if you're not eating and training and doing certain things to keep it conditioned, your metabolism conditioned, you can't get away with it. That's what a lot of you guys are experiencing out there. So, gosh, there's so many questions. If there's something I'm missing here, if you want to elaborate on anything that would benefit these guys, because you get asked the question, I'm sure, all the time. How do you stay in a good shape? Or how do I get rid of this? They point at the belly. They want an ab exercise to do that, right? And we've learned that we don't even waste our time answering that question, because there is no exercise going to work your belly and get belly fat off. What gets the belly fat off? Tell them. Basically,
there's only one thing that gets, changing your diet and doing cardio. There's no secret.
And now the weights, you don't act, even though we started from a bodybuilding background, you're not trying to go in there and lift the freaking house, right? You're lifting smart. You actually told me you tore a bicep tendon off, right?
I did. I had a complete tear on my bicep 18 months ago, and ironically, it wasn't even in the gym. I was helping my wife move a piece of furniture, which I'll never do again. But I lift. I lift if I can't. I say if I can't lift it or do it, 20 reps, I don't pick it up. So I I couldn't even tell you what my max bench press is, because I probably don't go more than 135. I do not use a lot of weight.
You don't need to if you're using it correctly. Do you have an idea what your body fat is by any chance? It doesn't matter.
I would say it's under 10. I would say probably 7 or 8.
Yeah, single digits. That's awesome, man. And your height and weight approximately?
6 foot even, about 187.
Okay, perfect. So also sometimes guys that aren't been exposed to the weight training lifestyle and bodybuilding like we have, when I ask them what weight they like to be, they always try to go lower, and they understand that the muscle weighs a lot more, that you can actually weigh a little bit more and look just as thin. So what's the heaviest you've ever been?
Ooh, there was a point in time, back when we were together, we were always obsessed with how big we were. And, I think at my most, I was probably, 210, 215. And, once I competed and stayed lean, which I, made a conscious effort to do, I typically, fluctuate between 180 and 190, but typically, 185 is my ideal weight.
Yeah, that's great. You got to be at that body fat. He's got abs. They're showing, obviously, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's incredible, man. That's awesome. So, and that's pretty good too. Just doing really a minimal amount of cardio, a minimal amount of weight training.
Yep.
Not that much.
Exactly. The one thing I tell people is, you see me in the gym, I'm not working out any harder than the next guy. The rest of it is just, it's this crazy sport. It's 80 to 90% diet.
Yeah, that's huge. And I think a lot of people just lack the education about certain foods, how they actually affect the body. Until I started studying it in college, and not because not only was it kind of part of my major, but just because I wanted to compete, I had to learn the power of foods and how they affected us. Even though we did it from a vanity standpoint back then, it really worked into our favor now.
Right.
Think about it. We're on no medications. We're not going to be shuffling along like other people when they get into their 70s, 80s, 90s, because we have mobility, because we have a lot of muscle still. And the best thing you guys can do is maintain your muscle mass. And you're not going to be a muscle head or a bodybuilder going in the gym. So just get that out of your head.
Yeah, exactly. Too late for that.
Yeah. So you said your wife and
daughter.
Son or daughter?
Yeah. Daughter Ella.
Too, and eat right.
Oh yeah. Yep. Very.
Way, huh?
Yeah, and Jenna was probably before we met, but really got into it. She struggles a little bit, and I'll deny I said this. So, if it's being recorded, but I don't.
You can't deny it now.
With like everyone else, struggles with she's actually in really good shape, but she has to pay attention to her diet as we both do. And
Mhm.
my daughter plays lacrosse and cheerleading, and so yeah, we all lead a pretty active lifestyle.
I'm curious, and you don't have to answer the question now, but it's not a big deal. Have you had your testosterone levels checked or tested ever?
Yeah, actually, I've been on TRT for since I was probably you know 30, because actually we tried to have kids and my testosterone was extremely low. Actually, my when it was, and it was far worse than just no sex drive. It affected my mood, and that's what really
Yeah.
prompted me to go get it checked. And so I've been on it for almost 20 something years. So I started a new method for my testosterone levels. So I go twice a year to get my levels checked.
Okay, Kevin, hold on one second. I got to answer a question here. Hold on. I'm live recording, so yeah, don't do that. So you can do it right now. I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry. Okay. You a couple times a year you get tested or something you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's part of like the method I'm teaching guys out there, like a 5-step method to adding back that 10 or 15 years to your health for a middle-aged man that's kind of lost his way. And that's one of the components is the hormone testing. And some guys, even though they've gotten that done, they're still not in good shape. So, and there's other factors that play into it as well. And stress is a big one. I know for me, it was stress, but it was also stress of not sleeping well. And when your body's under stress, it actually there's a stress hormone, cortisol, that's released, and it makes it almost impossible, guys, for you to lose weight, even if you're eating right and training right. But yeah, most men probably over 40, your testosterone levels are starting to go down, and it's a very good idea to get supplementation for that. And how about like other supplements? Do you do anything else?
Not really. I mean, I did the whole creatine thing for a while. The only supplements I wouldn't even call it supplement is my pre-workout stuff, whether it's C4, which is typically my go-to, and obviously, protein supplements just that I carry with me, just for my diet. If I'm missing a meal, I have something in between. So I'm really not, other than a multivitamin, and my pre-workout stuff. There's really nothing else I really take. You
Okay,
just keep
good.
my protein levels high.
Yeah, no, that's good. Basics, maybe a fish oil or something, but definitely like your multivitamins and maybe some amino acids just for muscle recovery. In your water, your fluid intake, you monitor that.
Yeah, I was never a big water drinker, and I always had issues with, being dehydrated, from the doctor, and so I try. I probably don't drink as much as I need to, but I live on those Propels. I like the flavored waters, but
Flavor.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I didn't grow up drinking water, so I'm not a big, plain water guy, but I'm drinking a lot more water. I was just obsessed with, I probably drinking 10 diet sodas a day, and I've cut that
Wow.
probably, and you know, by 2/3 and doing more water.
Okay, awesome. All right, so we got the training, we got the food, we got the hormones, we got the supplements, and another thing, guys, too. One of the big parts of the whole 5-step process I have is mindset. So I don't know what Kevin's routine is, but I teach a certain way of doing things. But it all starts here. If you think you can't, you can't. Right from the very beginning. Very beginning, there is a whole mental workout. Let's call it mental weight training that you have to have some sort of routine. I don't know if you do any kind of mental visualization affirmations, or do you have any kind of thing that you do, or just
Yeah, no, in terms of, mental, no, I don't. I probably should, but I don't.
you don't need to. You've been so many years. This is just like second nature to you. But it's more for the guys coming in that really I've had struggled with weight loss in the past. It's just, again, it's just a path to get you focused, and then you're training the brain, because we're mentally, we're thinking, we're going this direction negative about it's hard to lose weight, or I can't lose weight, or tried in the past, or everybody in my family is overweight. That thinking has to shift and turn around the momentum. So it takes some brain training to get the momentum to go back the other way. And it takes a little bit of effort, work, just like working out. So, but I think we covered a lot of good things here. I don't want to take up more of your time, but we're going to catch up here really soon. But I just wanted to, another 50-something-year-old guy that's doing it, and he doesn't let anything get in his way, and the benefits are there. You're not going to be living on medications. Because you know how many times I see people daily that are on 12 and 14 different medications. It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
I don't know what's wrong with it.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, it's they should be arrested for that shit. You know, it's about the money, but you guys follow along what kind of lifestyle we live, and what other guys I'm interviewing, you're not going to have the health issues. Yeah, can it be possible? Yeah, but most of it's our lifestyle and the food choices. Food is so freaking powerful; it just damages the hell out of the body. So, in moderation. So like Kevin has a couple beers here and there. I do it here and there. Shit, I shouldn't tell you guys this. I had a couple donuts this morning because I can get away with it. It's not because before I used to be so afraid of it that I'd get fat. I ate the donut and I couldn't get it off. But once you got your metabolism jacked up, and learn how to keep it jacked up when you're in your 50s, now you got the freaking keys to the kingdom, guys. So this is what this is all about. So Kevin, man, it's been so good catching up with you. And I'll call you later today, and we'll set up another time we can talk. And now that we're both in Florida, we can definitely hook up.
There's no excuses. It was great catching up, and yeah, I definitely look forward to catching up, real soon.
All right, my man, I'm going to stop this recording, and